What would you do if the world you knew was gone? All the comforts, the simple pleasures you took for granted. How would you protect yourself and the ones you love when the protectors can't even save themselves?
The army's pulling out. Come on! Last truck, get in!
Want some of this? How about you?
How will you decide who belongs?
Thanks. I owe you.
How will you choose a place to call home? How will you build it? Work together to defend it from the terror just outside the walls. When you get hungry, cold, what risks will you take? What mistakes will you make? When the only family you've got is about to tear itself apart, will you end a life?
Wait,
Or save it?
please.
This is our only one, but we need everybody we've got. Damn it!
When you get in too deep and realize no one gets a second chance.
How will you find the strength to carry on? In this world of the living and the dead, how will you survive?
It's been more than 4 years since we had State of Decay, the open-world zombie survival sim from the game developer that loves zombies so much it named itself after them, Undead Labs.
But our story
Doesn't end.
here.
There's a little bit longer to wait for the sequel, State of Decay 2, which is slated for spring 2018, but from showings at games industry gatherings E3 and Gamescom, this sequel already looks like a deeper, more ambitious and more refined outing. Speaking of which, allow me to recap the new things you can do in State of Decay 2 when it does arrive in 2018. As an open-world, freeform zombie survival sim with an ensemble cast of characters, State of Decay would have been the perfect co-op zombie game, except it had no co-op.
We can't stay here.
To the surprise of exactly no one, the most requested feature for the State of Decay follow-up was a co-op mode, and thankfully, yes, the developer has provided that very thing. State of Decay 2 has an online co-op mode in which you and up to 3 other players join forces. You can take a character from your community and jump into a friend's game, or vice versa. Or you can send up a flare which signals to other players that you want co-op company. If they have opted to be notified of co-op opportunities, they can come and join you via a drop-in, drop-out online system, a bit like that of Dark Souls. In this newly cooperative online world, you can watch each other's backs and basically collaborate on your survival. What you can't do is hurt each other directly, since friendly fire is firmly turned off. At least that's one less thing to worry about, scratched off the long list of things to worry about in the zombie apocalypse, such as, is there enough drinking water? And does this look infected to you? On the other hand, the long list of things to worry about still includes permadeath, to the extent that if you die in your friend's game, you also die in your own. It's a lot like the Matrix in that way. If that sounds like a griefer's paradise to you, then that's because it does sound like that. Let's see how it goes. If some random co-op partner does lead a conga line of zombies back to our base and we get perma-killed, well, that's what we get for trusting a stranger in the zombie apocalypse. It's like we learned nothing from Dawn of the Dead, or 28 Days Later, or literally any other zombie fiction. State of Decay 2 comes with more extensive base building options than its predecessor, so at last you can construct the full-service survivalist compound of your dreams. The range of facilities you can install inside the cosy confines of your base offer various benefits to your community, but those facilities also need to be run by survivors with the right skills. Something to think about when you're rescuing and/or recruiting new people to come live on your base. State of Decay 2 doubles down on its role-playing elements with a deeper character progression system. Each survivor has a handful of skills and also traits, drawn from a pool of over 1,000 personality traits. It'll be for you to develop each survivor's skills for the benefit of your community and look after the relationships between each of your unique survivors. Who knew that human resources management would turn out to be a vital survival skill? They don't teach you that on Bear Grylls. Your duties as post-apocalyptic HR manager also include picking out community leaders. You can promote your fave survivors to leadership roles by following their advice and completing their goals, which in turn unlocks new perks and steers the community along a path towards the particular priorities of your leader. No telling what those particular priorities might be, so maybe pick your leaders carefully. We've all watched The Walking Dead. It can't be all good news in the zombie-geddon, so while you're enjoying the swanky new bases, you'll also be contending with a whole new strain of zombifying sickness. This new disease is called blood plague, which I'm not a doctor, but in my medical opinion sounds like bad times.
The army's pulling out. Come on.
Blood plague zombies are a special zombie type that can infect player characters with said blood plague. Once a survivor is infected with this blood plague, a timer starts, and once the time is up, that plague victim turns into a blood plague zombie themselves. All is not lost, however, if you can create an infirmary at your base to delay the infection taking hold or even cook up a cure. If you manage to do neither of those things, however, there is another new thing you can do in State of Decay 2, and here it is. If you've got a blood plague infected survivor, you'll occasionally be faced with the dire decision over what to do with someone who's run out of time. At this point, you will have the option to spare the survivor, kill the survivor, or exile them from your community, kicking them out into the zombie wilderness to fend for themselves.
Get in.
Yikes. This zombie survivalism is not as much of a light-hearted mall-raiding lark as I'd thought. Maybe there's something I can do to take my mind off all the horror. In State of Decay 2's new community screen, you can check in with your growing collective of lucky survivors. At the same time though, you can visit the tombstones of the unlucky permadead persons who are memorialised here, so you can never forget them, or the time you shot them in the head. I hope you brought flowers.
What would you do if the world you knew was gone?
Those were our highlights from the new things you can do in State of Decay 2, which is coming to Xbox One and PC in spring 2018, say the developers.
No, damn it!
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, why not give the like button a little click and subscribe for more on State of Decay 2 as soon as we get it.